a little bit stronger and a little bit better after doing that. Now bring your hands onto your diaphragm here at the side. And I want you to take a big in-breath into your belly. And I want you to feel your diaphragm expand here. This is the type of breathing we need to be doing in our yoga postures, allowing this diaphragmatic breath to happen. So just take another one and feel that diaphragm moving out to the side. Now bring your fingers together here at the front. Now I want you to take another in-breath, and the fingers will come apart. If your fingers aren't coming apart when you breathe in, your diaphragm's not. So I want you to work on that. Work on it in the mirror when you go inside or when you have a little bit more time. Work on getting that diaphragm moving. I have to say, everyone in my class has fabulous breathing because we've been aware of this and conscious of it, and we've worked on it. So if you haven't worked on it, please make sure you do. It's so important, and it allows you to be conscious in your posture. Okay, the first thing we're going to do today is to come into triangle pose. So I want you to just bring one foot out this way, one foot out this way, straighten the knees, tighten your core, take your arms out, and stretch, 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 and come down. Keep the body in one straight plane. Look up to the sky. Lift your hip. Now comes the conscious part. Get that diaphragmatic breathing happen. Look at what's happening in every part of your body. Where is the stretch working in your body? Where are you feeling it most? Is your arm in a nice straight line? That line, that energy line moving through your heart, through your two arms. Breathe through the diaphragm and feel the posture, and go into stillness. Close your eyes and just enjoy that posture. Enjoy how it feels in your body. Enjoy the stretching. See if you can get a little bit more out of it by bringing your hand all the way down, but keeping your hip up and still looking up. Okay, coming up, and let's do the other side. So turning the foot, this foot going forward with the toes turned in. Nice wide stance for this one. Stretching out, arms down, stretch, 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 and come down. And lift. And breathe deeply through the diaphragm. And see if you can come down a little bit further. You'll get more stretch in your leg. Be aware of that. Be aware of the diaphragm moving. One more big in-breath. And come up. Now take your feet out to the side. Other foot out to the side and turn around 180 degrees and come down. Lock your hand around your foot and lift and breathe. Now you'll find that the breathing is a little bit more difficult as you do this because we've got more stretch through the abdominal organs. Nevertheless, we want to keep that breath happening. And turn forward. I hope I had myself properly in the screen there. Let's come a little bit more this way. And stretch and come down. If you like, if you want to, you can take your arm over your back, get that shoulder right up, or lift it up. And get the diaphragm working. Hold. See where it's happening in your body. Be aware. Be aware that your knees are straight. 2 more deep breaths. And come forward. And come up. All right, we're going to do warrior one now. So just coming onto the back of your mat. A lot of people get a little bit confused with warrior one and the foot position. So you want to have your foot, the left foot, we'll start with the right foot moving forward. So the left foot, we want that to be at 45 degrees. Then bring your heel into the arch, turn your hips forward and take a big step. And then wriggle out as far as you can until your thigh is parallel to the floor. But we're keeping the hips forward here. And we're going to lift. So we're doing quite a lot of strengthening postures today. And we want to have the diaphragm moving even though we've got our arms lifted, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So just keep your diaphragm working. And you might even like to take your arms back. Now this will give you an even stronger posture, and it will work through the top of your upper back. So if you've been over your computer a lot while we've been in this little hiatus that we're having, you'll find that this will be very good for you. But make sure you get your upper arms into a vertical position. All right, now we're going to straighten out that leg. Bring the hands down onto the mat. Take the weight onto your front foot and lift the leg. And bring it back down. And let's step back. We're going to come into downward dog here as we come through. So bringing the heels down, pushing back on the shoulders, straightening the knees, stretching out your back, and then adjusting your knees again and pushing back and breathing. Breathing through the diaphragm all the time you're doing this. Now I want you to turn your right foot out to 45 degrees and step forward with your left foot. And we're here, lifting up. We've got that thigh parallel to the floor, our hips forward. We're going to try taking the arms back, just making it a little bit stronger. You'll find that there's a big lift through the lower part of the abdomen with this. Being aware, having the diaphragm moving, bringing your hands down, and we're going to once again take that weight onto the front leg, lift the back leg as high as you can, and come down. Okay, all right, let's do warrior two now. So with warrior two, we want to have the left foot 60 degrees and stepping forward. This foot is forward. So this time the hips are facing this way, and we want to get a nice deep posture. So we've got the thigh parallel to the floor, and then bring your arms in a line. Bring your body upright. Look over your fingers. You'll notice when people are doing this posture, if they start to lean forward, and I'll show you here, I'm going to lean forward, which is incorrect. Please don't do it. The posture loses its power. Use your consciousness to come back. Bring the power and the strength back into the posture. Get your diaphragm working. Also make sure your arms are in alignment. These postures are like a blueprint for how the energy works in your body, and we want it all to flow. So if you don't do the posture correctly, then the energy is not going to flow as well as it could. And then bring your elbow down onto the knee, take your arm across onto your ear, and then look up to your hand. And once again, we've got a little bit of constriction through the diaphragmatic area. Keep the breath happening. And keep looking up to your hand because it changes what's happening in your body. Now I want you to just be very careful how you come out of this posture. Straighten your leg, lift your arm, and turn around. So once again, getting that thigh parallel to the floor. Stretching your arms out, looking over the fingers, bringing the body upright. Arms in a straight line. Deep breathing. And take your elbow onto your knee, take your arm across onto your ear, look up to your hand and stretch. And you might notice, take your gaze away and come back. This is a drishti point or focal point, is to look up to your hand. All of those things matter. They all make a difference to what's happening in the posture. And straighten the leg, lift out of it. Okay, here's one of the best postures you can do. If you're an older person and you're having trouble with your balance and falling or anything of that nature, I want you to just take a nice wide stance. Have your feet out at 45 degrees. Make sure your knee is over your heel. You don't want your knees tipping in like this. That won't work for you. Make sure your knees are back. Drop your weight down. This is called the horse stance. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra like this and straighten up. Now really I'd like you to pause the video and hold it for about the count of 30. Or work up to holding it for a minute. So what this will do is make your body more stable. Now what happens when you get older? You'll notice that when you see a child running around, the child doesn't have to look where it's going. When people get old, they have to look everywhere they're going. With every step, they have to take care. Now, what's the difference between those two things? I know you want to say it's aging, but what it is the difference between how the brain is able to get the messages from what's happening in the body. When you do yoga, this improves. It's called autokinesthesis. And when you do yoga, your body is just more aware of what's happening around you and what you're doing. So you'll notice that if you do fall, you're less likely to injure yourself. But indeed, you're also less likely to fall. Okay, let's release that. And we're going to come into one more posture, which is also a strengthening posture. I'm going to come into the side to do this with you. It's called the chair pose. So have your feet hip-width apart. Bend your knees and lift up. Now, I want you to make sure how your pelvis is sitting. We don't want to tilt the pelvis forward. We don't want to tilt it too far back, but we do want it to stay in alignment. And you'll feel quite strong posture happening through here. And release it. All right. What I'd like you to do now is to come down on the mat. And we're going to, first of all, come into a plank pose. So I want you to interlace your fingers and come onto your toes. Strengthen through the core. Make sure your bottom's down. We don't want our bottom up here. We want our bottom down and we don't want our knees on the mat. We want our body in a straight line. Now what I'd like you to do is perhaps pause again and hold this for maybe the count of 50. Work on it. So I'm not going to hold it for 50 or you get very bored with my video and I'll never download it. So I'm just going to release this now, but please work on your holding of this posture and work on holding your core here. Okay. I want you now, because we've had a little bit of work through the lower back with that, come back into child pose and just release it. Relax your shoulders. And come up. All right, just coming into cat now. Make sure the hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, round out your back, breathing out, and breathing in. So what we're doing here when we round out, we're also tucking in our pelvis and we're coming into that posture called Uddiyana Bandha, or the lock that happens in the base chakra. So pull the abdominal muscles in, tuck your bottom in and pull those muscles right in as tightly as you can as you do this. And release. And once more. Okay. All right. I'd like to now come into a side plank. So just testing yourself with this. First of all, easy posture is to bring your foot over. So you can try it like that, lifting up like this. Do your best then to bring one foot on top of the other and lift your arms. And hold it for 12 breaths. And come down onto the other side. Okay, bringing the foot over and lifting. All right, now we're going to just do our leg lifts. So just lying down on the mat. Just take a couple of breaths to relax. Bring your hands in under your buttocks and lift. Control all the way down. Tighten your core. Now, I'd like you to pause this and see if you can't do 20 of these today. 20 is going to make a big difference to your core. But doing 10 of these once a week is not going to cut it. So I really like you to have a little exercise about seeing if you can't do 20 today, and then 20 tomorrow, and then the day after. All right, let's do some sit-ups, just keeping our heels on the mat and coming forward. And also, see if you can't do 20 of these, just because you can. Now I know you can, so let's do it. Okay, let's come into bridge now. So walk your heels in close to the buttocks and lift up into bridge. And bring your collarbone right up to your chin. And you might like to take your arms overhead. And I'm sure I'm out of the frame there. It's just me adjusting myself. And roll down. And roll on your back. Happy baby pose here. And coming up. Let's come into our spinal twist. Locking around, coming right around behind you. Push your hand into the floor as strongly as you can. Get a good stretch in that hip, a good twist in the shoulder, and look backwards. And release it. Now all of the postures, I want you to hold them for 12 breaths. I'm not holding for so long today so that I don't have so much trouble downloading the video, because it takes days sometimes. So let's just do this. And this posture develops a lot of gracefulness in your body. And once more, stretching out your legs. Bringing the buttocks back. Come forward and lift up. And then just let your body come down. Drawing your head right down as far as it'll go. Elbows out sideways. And I'd like you to finish off with your favorite inverted posture. Maybe a shoulder stand, maybe something a little bit more tricky, but we'll finish it there today. And I just want to leave you with a quote from a lady called Rachel Maisie Martin, who said, "Sometimes you have to let go of the picture of what you thought your life would be like and learn to find joy in the story that you're actually living." Namaste.